Hello, hello, hello. What a wonderful day to see actually can't see you guys and you can see me, but a wonderful day to be back to talk sports to you, my YouTube fans and family. What I'm doing today is we're going to rehash some things that have gone over, that have occurred actually in the last 2 weeks, because I do the show every other week. So there's some things that have occurred that are important and vital that I want to pass on to the sports world. The SWAC football season ended. We now know who is going to play for the SWAC championship, Jackson State and Prairie View. Then we're going to expound on some other HBCU schools that participated in the FCS and the NCAA Division II playoffs. We're going to get started, as I always do, with my HBCUs. So let me start off with the games that occurred on the 27th, or was it the 22nd. Over the last few days, over the holidays, you had Grambling play Southern University in the Bayou Classic. You had Alabama State play Tuskegee. And you had Prairie View play Mississippi Valley. So we're going to go over all those things and much more. So sit back before we get started. Do me a big favor, as I always ask you guys, and you seem to always come through for me. I want you to hit that like button, the subscribe button, smash that bell. I've had some friends ask me about subscribing. It is free of charge, so don't let that hold you back from subscribing. As I told you, YouTube sends out a message to us, when I say us, people that have a YouTube show, and let them know that, hey, 70% of your viewers don't subscribe. And I don't know what the reason is, but it really would bode well for me if you guys would hit the subscribe button. Now, don't get me wrong, I appreciate you looking. So we get the views, but hit the like, the subscribe, and the notification, so every time a show drops, you don't have to think about it. It automatically will let you know, hey, Sports Talk with Fat Larry just dropped a new show. You need to run on over there and see it. So what we're going to start off with is with the HBCUs, the SWAC, and Prairie View was beaten by Mississippi Valley. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but I kind of put a little information on the side of Mississippi Valley about 2 shows back ago, letting people know that Mississippi Valley look like they're on the up. They got a Dansby, a coach that is an alumnus. A lot of times that's what it takes in these HBCUs, is a alumnus to come in. Not necessarily all the time, because primetime Dion has done a turnaround for Jackson State. And he is not an alumnus. Eddie George has Tennessee State going in the right direction, and he is not an alumnus. But it bodes well if you can find one that understands that the university doesn't have this at their disposal, that it doesn't have that at their disposal, but they understand and know that from the past that it can still be accomplished and done, that is winning. So this guy at Mississippi Valley, Dansby, I think is doing a fantastic job myself. He beat Prairie View. He lost by 2 close games that Mississippi Valley could have easily won. So I feel like Mississippi Valley is on the up. Grambling State beat Southern University. I think Southern University, and I know you Southern University friends, y'all are diehards, and you may not want to hear that, but I actually think that Southern underachieved this year. The preseason had them, their whole offensive line preseason all SWAC. And they were just up and down all year. So Grambling State beat Southern. Alabama State beat Tuskegee. And they look classic that they have. So those games were played. And let me go to the games that were played prior to that. As I said, FAMU played in the FCS playoffs. They played Southeastern Louisiana. and they were beaten by Southeastern Louisiana, 38-14. But FAMU still had a great season. Alabama State once again not only beat Tuskegee, but they now have named their new coach, Eddie Robinson Jr. One more time, Eddie Robinson Jr. has been named the head coach at Alabama State. And let me get it clear with you people that this is not Eddie Robinson, the legendary coach at Gramblin's son or grandson or nothing of that nature. Eddie Robinson was a past player for Alabama State University, drafted by the Houston Oilers, and played like 10 seasons, I think, in NFL. So he has a lot of NFL background. And once again, these coaches, they are like CEOs. I told everybody when Tennessee State hired Eddie George, they were like, well, he has no background in coaching. Doesn't mean anything. He goes out and gets an assistant, offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, a recruiter, and he oversees it. And he's done a great job for Tennessee State. And I think that's what's going to happen with Eddie Robinson until he understands the nuances of coaching. I think he's going to be a pretty good CEO because he's one hell of a player. He came in and started as a rookie with the Houston Oilers. I remember him quite well. So Alabama State has a new coach. And let me see if we have any other new coaches in the SWAC. No, well, for this particular moment, we only have Eddie Robinson, but we have some other positions to fill. And so what we have here is Alabama State beat on the 20th of November, Texas Southern 24-21. JSU beat Alcorn 24-10. That's the game where they had 60,000 fans in Memorial Stadium. I can remember when Dion was hired and or Coach Prime. Coach Prime, one of his favorite saying was, do you believe it? Can you see it? The stands filled up the Memorial Stadium, and they are coming through for Prime, Coach Prime, with 60,000 at the game for Alcorn and Jackson State. Alabama A&M beat UAPB 52-24, last game of the season. Prairie View lost to Texas A&M prior to losing to Mississippi Valley 52-3. And FAMU beat Bethune-Cookman in the Orange Blossom Classic in Orlando, Florida. Let me give you a little insight. Everybody knows about the Bayou Classic and what it brings to New Orleans, but people on the East Coast in the MEAC, where FAMU and Bethune-Cookman were before joining the SWAC, treat the Orange Blossom Classic just like the Bayou Classic. I would happen to be in Orlando one time when that game was going on, and I went to the game, didn't make it into the game, believe it or not, sold out, but parking lot was stuffed, and so we just hung out and tailgated. So that Orange Blossom Classic is a tremendous classic also. So FAMU beat Bethune-Cookman 46-21 in that game. And after that game, as I reported earlier, they went on to the FCS playoffs and lost to Southeastern Louisiana. But FAMU had a great season. So now let's go off into the honors for the SWAC. We're going to start off with the individual honors. Akil Glass, the quarterback for Alabama A&M, which I told you guys before the beginning of the season once again that I felt like he should get a look in the NFL. He was the offensive player of the year, 36 touchdowns, 3,500 passing yards. Isaiah Land was the defensive player of the year from Florida A&M University, FAMU, a tackling machine. 25 tackles for loss and 19 sacks. I can recall when one of our great Michael Strahan at Texas Southern University led the nation in sacks and went on to become drafted and become a Hall of Famer for the New York Giants. So I think this kid Land at FAMU has a great future also in the NFL. Then you have James Houston was a newcomer of the year, defensive lineman from JSU, Jackson State. You had Shedeur Sanders, freshman of the year, 28 touchdowns, 2,900 passing yards, JSU. Then you had Coach Prime Deion Sanders, coach of the year, 10-1 record in his second year, JSU. You know, everybody, not everyone, because people that know Deion knows what he's capable of, but a lot of people thought it was just smoke. But Deion has proven to everyone he's a pretty good coach, and he knows how to, one more time, matriculate the social media to get those kids. And as I say all the time when I bring up his name, these coaches and other institutions, if they quit hating on Prime and start trying to see what he's doing and mimic it, you need to start getting you some players in too. He had several D1 players that made the difference this year for his team. Okay, then we're going to go to the first team real quick. Quarterback, Aquill Glass, Alabama A&M. Bishop Bonnet, FAMU, running back. The other running back was Gary Qualls, Alabama A&M. Offensive lineman, Keenan Forbes, FAMU. Dallas Black, Southern. Mark Evans, UAPB. And Jonathan Bishop, Southern. And lo and behold, Texas Southern had a lineman on the first team, and his name is Drake Centers. Wide receivers were Abdul Ibrahim, Alabama A&M, and Odin Hilliard, Alabama A&M. The tight end was Canary Averett Bethune-Cookman. On the defensive side of the ball, the all SWAC selections for defense was, on the defensive line, you had James Houston, JSU. You had Jason Demas, PV. You had S. Anderson, Grambling State. You had linebacker, one more defensive lineman, Antoine Owens from JSU. Linebacker, you had Isaiah Land from FAMU, who we spoke of earlier. He was a defensive lineman of the year and player of the year. And also we have Ontario Johnson, linebacker, BC, Bethune-Cookman. Aubrey Miller, linebacker, JSU. Marquise Bell, defensive back, FAMU. Defensive back, Drake Hartston, Prairie View. Defensive back, BJ Bowler, FAMU. And defensive back, Omari Hill Robinson, Bethune-Cookman. And you'll see that most of the teams were in the hunt have a defense. You got to have one of those too. I know I talk about you got to have a quarterback that can make something out of nothing, but you got to have a defense also. Second team offense real quick. Shedeur Sanders, JSU. Running back, Caleb Johnson, Mississippi Valley. Running back, Nico Duffy, Alcorn State. Offensive line, Tony Gray, JSU. Jay Carter, Southern. Danny Garcia, PV. Jay Jackson, FAMU. And the last offensive lineman is Robert Alston, Alabama State. Wide receiver, Keith Corbin, JSU, who I feel like could have been first team. Wide receiver, Dre Anderson, Alabama A&M. And tight end, Jay Johnson, one more time, another kid from TSU. So we're getting kids that are achieving levels they haven't done in the past in a little while at TSU. Place kicker, Jose Martinez, FAMU. Punter, Josh Sanchez, UAPB. And return specialist, Isaiah Bolden, JSU. Second team real quick. On defense, Ronnie Thomas, Mississippi Valley on defensive line. Savion Williams, FAMU. Michael Badigo, TSU. Another TSU product. Defensive line, DeAndre Williams, FAMU. And you can see how FAMU and Mississippi Valley are filling up the sheets for defense. We have Monroe Beard, the third, UAPB, linebacker. This guy's a tackling machine also for UAPB. Keontae Hampton, JSU linebacker. Derek Cooper, TSU, another TSU on the second team. Defensive back, I. Davis, Alabama State. Defensive back, Keontae Daniels, Mississippi Valley. One more time. Mississippi Valley, I think, is on the up. That's like their third or fourth player between the first and second team. Darius Campbell, PV, defensive back. And Shiloh Sanders, Prime's oldest son, is second team defensive back. Place kicker, second team, Urban from Grambling. Punter, Urban from Grambling State. So he won the punter and the place kicker. And return specialist, Darnell Diaz, Bethune-Cookman. So those are the players that garnish honors in the SWAC. Now, before we get away from the SWAC, and also in the Division II, I think what it is, or Division III playoffs, Bowie State lost in the playoffs to Lee Ridnour or something like that. Is how you pronounce that college. But they made it, and we want to give congratulations to Bowie State. Take a break right here. Hit that subscribe button, that share button, and that like button. And hit that bell for me. We're going to talk about some high schools right quick. As I told you, a couple of my listeners wrote me in. That makes me remember to tell you guys. Please, hit me up at fatlarrypodcast@gmail.com. Ask me anything you want to ask me. Suggest anything you want to suggest on what you'd like for me to do. Also, check me out on Facebook, Sports Talk with Fat Larry. Also, one more time, hit that like, subscribe, no charge to all my people that's nervous about a charge, and smash that bell, okay? Let's go into football right quick. And as I tell all my listeners, go out and support your high school teams. It's going to be a good game this weekend. We're getting off into the thick of the playoffs. North Shore plays Atascocita in Pasadena Friday at 7 p.m. I'm trying to decide what games I'm going to Friday and Saturday. That's one on the list right there. They've already beat Atascocita once, but it's hard to beat a team twice. Then you got San Antonio Brenham plays Austin Lake Travis Saturday at 2 p.m. The winner of both of those games play each other. That's going to be a barn burner. I'm picking Lake Travis to win the bottom game, and I'm thinking North Shore is going to win the top. So North Shore against Austin Lake Travis is going to be off the hook. Allen plays in Division II, South Lake Carroll, Saturday at 2 p.m. in the Dallas area. Duncanville plays DeSoto. So you got neighborhood schools rivaling each other. Right off of 67 in Dallas, you got Duncanville. Then you go up further south, you got DeSoto. So, and Duncanville beat Spring 42-7 within the Houston area. And I thought Spring had a nice opportunity to possibly beat Duncanville, but Duncanville put it on Spring 42-7. So both the Dallas area schools beat both of the Houston area schools because DeSoto beat Westfield. Westfield was like 12-0 when they played DeSoto. And DeSoto had lost 3 games, so I had picked Westfield, but Westfield got beat also 34-17. So both of the Dallas schools are playing Saturday at 7 p.m. Division II, 6A, Katy plays Summer Creek Saturday at 1 p.m. This is one of my Saturday games I'm thinking about going to. That's going to be a good one. Katy plays Summer Creek. Austin Vandergrift plays Austin Westlake Saturday at 2 p.m. at University of Texas Stadium. And trust me, it's probably going to be 30 or 40,000 people there. Austin Westlake was picked in the top 3 teams in the nation in high school. And so Austin Vandergrift has only lost 1 game, and it was to Austin Westlake early in the season. So it's going to be hard for Austin Westlake. I think they're going to still win, but Vandergrift only lost 1 game, and that's to them. So you got revenge factor working. You got Denton Geyer plays Prosper Saturday at 1. Bridgeland, right out of Cypress, Katy area here in Houston, plays Tomball. So that's going to be a regional type final game for the region. Saturday at 2 p.m. 5A, you got Paytall out of Katy playing Fort Bend Hightower. That's a good game Friday at 7 o'clock. Like I said, I got to decide on which one of these games I want to see. Hightower is going to be playing Bridgeland. And then we got Paytall beat Cedar Park out of Austin, which is a perennial power. And Paytall is just actually a new school. And you got Fort Bend Hightower beat Manville 41-31, which was a good game. So they're playing at Rice Friday. Flower Bluff plays Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial Friday at 7. Mansville Summit plays Colleyville Heritage Friday at 7 p.m. in the Dallas area. Denton Ryan plays College Station. College Station is 13-0, and Denton Ryan is 13-0. That's going to be a good game. They play in Waco Friday at 7. And you got Texarkana Division II playing Crosby and Lufkin, Houston area school. Liberty Hill versus San Antonio Alamo Heights Friday. Wichita Falls Rider versus Abilene Cooper Friday at 7. Dallas South Oak Cliff plays Lovejoy December the 4th, which is Saturday at 2:30. That is going to be a good game. Now I want to also add in here that South Oak Cliff beat Aledo, the defending state champions. So South Oak Cliff must have a pretty good team. 4A, and I'm going to stop at 4A. Chapel Hill's playing Little Cypress Friday at 7:30. Austin LBJ, defending state champion 4A. Actually, they played in the 5A. They dropped down to 4A, so they probably tough to beat. They playing Fredericksburg out of Austin Saturday in Alamo Dome. Stephenville, the number 1 team in 4A, is playing Melissa. Both of them like 13-0. 7:30 Friday. Stephenville beat Argyle, another perennial champion and a defending champion. And Melissa put it on one of my hometown schools, Waco La Vega. Springton is versus Hershey, Wichita Falls, Friday. And Division II, the last one, China Spring versus West Orange Start, 12-3 on 7 p.m. Should be a good game. China Spring is one of the schools out of the Waco area also. Cuervo versus Navarro, 12-3, 7:30. Friday. Pleasant Grove versus Gilmer. Gilmer perennial power. Friday at 7 p.m. And Aubrey versus Salina and Denton at 12. Friday, 7:30. So those are your high schools. If you have opportunity, go out and take a look at them. If you get an opportunity, go out and support some of the high schools. There are going to be some great games in the Dallas area, the San Antonio area, the Austin area, and the Houston area. Like I say, I'm trying to figure out which ones I want to go see. But anyway, let's get into college right quick. A little beef I've always had with the NCAA is that they let coaches and the universities make a gazillion dollars off the game, and they finally now in the NIL are letting the players make some. But I think it should be the colleges should be paying them some. All they've done is told them that, look, if you can go out and get somebody to pay you some money, fine. But I feel like they should be paying them. And I'm going to give you a reason why. Mark Stoops, the coach at Kentucky, has a new contract extension. Every year he wins 7 games, it extends by a year. 10 wins, it extends by 2 more years. So he has a lifetime contract making about $5 to $7 million a year. And these guys don't teach any classes. I can remember coming up back in the day when I was in high school and college, not only did the coach you, but he taught classes. These guys don't even have to teach any classes now. They kind of like the highest, I'm trying to think of the word for a professor that when he's at a school for so long, they make more money than him. They are right up there making just as much or more than the president of the university. So that's what I've never liked about NCAA and how they have a double standard for the players. You got Brian Kelly, the coach of Notre Dame, leaves for LSU, $95 million 10-year contract. $95 million. Then you have the coach at Michigan State, Mel Tucker, just signed a $95 million 10-year contract that is fully guaranteed. I mean, that is super fantastic. You sign a contract because in the past, back in the day, if you had a 5-year contract, they would fire you if you still was not doing well and part of your money was not guaranteed. But Mel Tucker at Michigan State, a black coach, has a 10-year, $95 million guaranteed contract. You have Franklin at Penn State, another black coach, just signed an addition to his present contract, 6 years, $38 million. 6-point-something million a year. Jimbo Fisher did the same as Mel Tucker at A&M, 10 years, $95 million. So when they talk about they don't have money and they getting the education, to crap with that. The coaches are getting a great opportunity by teaching these young men also, but they still getting paid. So I don't like the double standard of that. So we're going to go over baseball real quick. Some of the free agents. The Astros signed Verlander, the pitcher that hadn't pitched in 2 years, to $50 million for 2 years. I tried to get my grandson to play baseball. My listening audience, and I think he was a natural, but he just loved that basketball. And a lot of the black kids today, they love that basketball and football. But if you can hear me out there in YouTube land, see if you can get your child interested in baseball. You play longer and you make a whole bunch of money. I'm going to give you some contract numbers. Eduardo Rodriguez, 5 years, $77 million, Detroit. Starling Marte, New York Mets, 4 years, $78 million. And I want to mention this guy, Marcus Semien. Texas Rangers signed him to a 7-year, $175 million contract. And the reason why I'm doing that, he has ties to a guy that played baseball with me at Texas Southern University. He was so happy that his cousin signed his contract. Ronald Rump Holmes, I'm putting it out there for you, my brother. Make sure when your cousin sends you that little tit bag he gonna send you, cut me off a little piece if you don't mind. But anyway, Marcus Semien is going to the Texas Rangers for $175 million, guaranteed. That is unbelievable. And the Rangers aren't finished. They signed a Corey Seager from the Dodgers for 10 years, $325 million. There was talk that Carlos Correa from the Astros may go there, but they've signed a guy from the Dodgers, so he's going to have to go somewhere else now. NBA, give you the rankings. The Nets are in first place. The Bulls are in second. The Heat are in third. Wizards fourth. Bucks are fifth. Hornets are sixth. Knicks are seventh. And the Cavaliers are eighth. They take 8 teams into the playoff. So you got the Sixers at 11-10, Hawks 11-10, and the Celtics 11-10. So there are 4 teams at 11-10. In the West, you have the Suns 18-3. This show is taped today on a Wednesday. They just beat Tuesday night. They beat the Golden State Warriors. That was 18-2. Now they both are 18-3. Jazz 14-7, 3. In third place, Mavericks are in fourth. Grizzlies are in fifth. The Clippers are in sixth. You got the Timberwolves, the Lakers, the Nuggets, and the Trailblazers are bringing up the Western participants if the playoffs started now. NFL, you have the Patriots, and I have to give the coach his due now. I have to give the coach his due at the Patriots, because when Tom Brady left, he didn't do too well, and I was saying looked like he missed Tom Brady, but he is getting his coaching across now to the young kids, and he made a hellacious choice when they got Mac Jones out of Alabama. He's exceeded, I think, everyone's expectation on what he could do. You got Patriots, Bills, the Dolphins, and the Jets in the East. You got the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Broncos in the West. In the West, they had their chance when the Chiefs were going through their little tailspin, but they couldn't win. Now the Chiefs are finding themselves. I think it's over with in the West. The Chiefs are going to win. The South, you got the Ravens, the Bengals, the Steelers, and the Browns. NFC, you got the Cowboys. In the East, Washington, Eagles, and the Giants. You got the Cardinals in the West, the Rams, the 49ers, and the Seahawks. In the North, you got the Packers, Vikings, Bears, and the Lions. And in the South, you got Tampa Bay, the Falcons, Saints, and the Panthers. I think Dallas will win the East. The Cardinals will win the West. Tampa Bay the South, and the Packers will win the North. Real quick, SWAC predictions for basketball this year. TSU is picked first, Prairie View is second, Jackson State third, Grambling State fourth, Southern University fifth, FAMU sixth, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, Bethune-Cookman, UAPB, and Mississippi Valley are picked in that order on the west side. On the east side, you got JSU picked, Alabama State, Southern, on the women, I'm sorry. Women, you got JSU, Alabama State, Southern, Alabama A&M, Grambling State, and you got TSU, which I like. They got TSU picked fifth, but that's okay, because I think Cynthia has got a surprise for everybody in the SWAC waiting. And when I say Cynthia, Coach Cooper. Alcorn State, Bethune-Cookman, UAPB, Prairie View, FAMU, and Mississippi Valley. Bringing up the rear in the basketball. Take a break right here. Hit that subscribe button, that share button, and that like button. And hit that bell for me. As you know, we have merchandise available, and I want to show the t-shirts that are available now. $25 purchase, $6 handling. Email me at fatlarrypodcast@gmail.com. fatlarrypodcast@gmail.com. And order your shirt. Tell us know what color you want. And I'm gonna have to get your information, where you are, where you live, and your size. Your size on what you want. Okay? Let us know. This is the white one. We just added in for the ladies, as you see the pink. But if you guys want to have some pink numbering, you're welcome to buy one too. So, hey, and I won't say anything. I don't think anything about it. Hey, to each his own. Okay? And here's the most popular one. The maroon one. So let us know. And we do have a few long sleeve ones if you want. fatlarrypodcast@gmail.com. Hit me up, let me know. Write a comment down below about the show and let me know what you think and what you might want me to talk about. Once again, I can take constructive criticism. All it's going to do is make me better. So I'd like to, with that in mind, wish everyone a wonderful weekend. Get out and enjoy. This is football weather. Everybody talking about it's cold, but no, it's not. This is football weather. Get out and enjoy your good high school game or a college game. If you have wherewithal to be able to get into a pro game, you got the money, go enjoy a pro football game also. So we'd like to let everybody know to continue doing what you're doing, watching the show. We really appreciate it. Until the next time, peace out.